The Red Baron goes down on this date. Welcome back to On This Date. Today's date is April 21st, 2023. It is the 111th day of the year. You got 254 days left. It is the 16th Friday in the 16th week in the 33rd day of spring. 61 days left until summer. Today is National Bulldogs Are Beautiful Day. Yes, to some of us, they are beautiful. I have a bulldog pug mix. She's ridiculous. She snores, she sleeps all day, and sadly, her time's about up on this earth. She's almost 13 years old right now, and they normally last between 8 and 10 years. So I think soon we're going to have to let Sophie go. She is a bulldog pug. She's not a true bulldog, I guess you could say, but there's English bulldogs, French bulldogs, and American bulldogs. Bulldogs portray glamour in their own special way. That's why we present you with National Bulldogs Are Beautiful Day. All right. Let's see what else April 21st has given us. 753 BC. This is the date that Romulus founded the city of Rome, marking the beginning of one of the most significant cities in Western history. 1509, Henry VIII ascends to the English throne following the death of his father, Henry VII. Henry VIII would go on to play a pivotal role in the English Reformation and the establishment of the Church of England. I always found that thing very interesting. So the Church of England was created because Henry VIII had a problem with the Pope and his unwillingness to grant him a divorce from his wife. So this was all over a divorce. 1789, John Adams is sworn in as the Vice President of the United States under President George Washington. 1836, the Battle of San Jacinto takes place, resulting in a decisive victory for Texan forces over the Mexican army during the Texas Revolution. 1918, World War I, German fighter ace Manfred von Richthofen, also known as the Red Baron, is shot down and killed over France. Manfred von Richthofen was a German fighter pilot who became a national hero during World War I. He was credited with shooting down 80 enemy aircraft, making him the highest scoring fighter ace of the war. Richthofen was born into a Prussian noble family in Poland in 1892. He grew up on a large estate and was a skilled horseman and hunter. After graduating high school, he joined the Prussian cavalry in 1911. When World War I broke out in 1914, Richthofen was initially assigned to a cavalry unit. However, soon after the war started and they started having combat, they realized that a cavalry unit was sort of useless against machine guns. Keep in mind, machine guns were new on the scene. It was new technology for war, so they had to make some changes. The first thing they did was disband most of their cavalry units. So Richthofen was eventually assigned to the new Volunteer Air Force. He began flying combat missions in 1915 and quickly proved to be a natural pilot. He was shot down and wounded twice in his early career, but he never gave up. In 1916, Richthofen was assigned to a fighter squadron known as the Flying Circus. The squadron quickly earned a reputation for being one of the most aggressive and successful units in the German Air Force. Richthofen himself became known for his daring flying and flamboyant style. He painted his fighter plane bright red, and soon earned the nickname the Red Baron, and he was literally a baron. The German term for it is Freiherr, but when translated to English, it's Baron. Richthofen continued to score victories throughout 1917 and 1918. By the time he was shot down and killed in April of 1918, he had been credited with shooting down 80 enemy aircraft. He was a national hero in Germany, and his death was a major blow to the German war effort. Now, this guy was a hero. He was amazing. These were like the last knights of Europe. You know, they didn't have horses, and these guys were in the air shooting each other with machine guns. This wasn't even like 25 years after the first airplane flew that these guys started fighting a war in the air. The guy was such a hero that even soldiers would carry pictures of him in their wallets in Germany during World War I. Richthofen's legacy continues to this day. He is considered one of the greatest fighter pilots in history, and his story has been told in books, films, and other media. He is a reminder of courage and sacrifice of pilots who fought in World War I. Now, what's really interesting about him is he was respected by his enemy too. He had his own code of chivalry, and he didn't like strafe pilots that had crashed or something like that. When a plane was disabled, he just kind of let them go, which that was a common thing for airplanes back in World War II, or fighter planes, that when they were hit a couple times with bullets, they were pretty much useless, and they'd, in a lot of cases, just glide to the ground. Well, some pilots were known for actually coming back around and strafing the pilots as they landed, just to try and get a kill. Last thing I should mention about him, he was born in where Poland is now, but at the time, it was part of the German Empire. 1989, Chinese students begin a pro-democracy protest in Beijing's Tiananmen Square, sparking a series of events that would lead to the Chinese government's violent crackdown on the protesters in June of that year. 2014, the Flint, Michigan water crisis becomes national news after it is revealed that the city's water supply has been contaminated with lead and other toxins. If you ever want to read about a fiasco, this is one to read about. These people were being served bad water to the point where people didn't even want to shower in it. Everyone had to get bottled water, and then the city still wanted them to pay their water bill. Movies released on April 21st, 1995, The Basketball Diaries. This is like a coming-of-age film centered on a teenager who sees his dreams of becoming a basketball star threatened by his addictions. The film was adapted from a memoir of the same name by Jim Carroll. Leonardo DiCaprio portrays Jim Carroll in the movie. Now, I knew about Jim Carroll back in the early 80s. I knew him as a punk rock singer. I didn't know him as anything other than that. I didn't know he's a writer, a poet, an artist, and he eventually became an actor. He played a part in this movie. The movie was a little depressing, I would say. It had Leonardo DiCaprio. It also had Mark Wahlberg, Lorraine Bracco, Juliette Lewis was in it, Ernie Hudson. If you watch this movie and you've seen The Sopranos, you're going to see a bunch of actors from The Sopranos. Sadly, Jim Carroll died in 2009, on September 11th, 2009, from a heart attack at his desk at his home in Manhattan. Born on April 21st, 1926, Queen Elizabeth II. She became the constitutional monarch of the 16 countries and the supreme governor of the Church of England after her coronation in 1953. She became the longest reigning monarch in British history. Helen Mirren won an Academy Award in 2007 for portraying her in the film The Queen. She is the mother of Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, Anne, Princess Royal, Prince Edward, and Charles, Prince of Wales, and is the former mother-in-law of Princess Diana. She married Prince Philip in 1947. And I guess Prince Charles' coronation's coming up pretty soon. And I want to apologize for, it sounds like I'm slurring my words. I bit my tongue really hard lifting weights the other day. I had hit myself in the face with a bar, but the only damage was I bit my tongue, so I'm having a hard time speaking today. Died on April 21st, 2016, Prince. He was born Prince Rogers Nelson. If you don't know who Prince is, he was a giant recording artist who had amazing albums. Extremely talented. I never knew how good of a guitar player he was. I just thought he was a singer. You know, that's all he did. Sang and dance, and that was it. Then I saw him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction at George Harrison. He does a guitar solo on While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and he was amazing. He became known for releasing over 30 top 40 single hits and gaining fame as an international sex symbol. Sadly, he got addicted to pills like so many other people. And on April 21st, 2016, at 9:43 a.m., the Carver County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call requesting an ambulance be sent to Prince's home at Paisley Park. The caller initially told the dispatcher that an unidentified person at the home was unconscious, then moments later said he was dead, and finally identified the person as Prince. The emergency responders found Prince unresponsive in an elevator and performed CPR, but the paramedics said that he had been already dead for at least 6 hours and they were unable to revive him. They pronounced him dead at 10:07 a.m., 19 minutes after their arrival. There was no signs of suicide or foul. A press release from the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office on June 2nd stated that the musician had died of an accidental overdose of fentanyl at the age of 57. It's too bad. He was very talented. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.